Designers everywhere are panicking about AI taking their jobs. McDonald's are being flooded with applications from people who can't cook fries, but do know that the red and yellow box mixed with their blue tiers forms the complete set of primary colors. But are we really entering a world where clients who barely know how to add clip art to a PowerPoint slide will prompt their way to billion-dollar brands? Well, I've grabbed two of my friends to find out. We've got Tom, who is a hardcore developer and knows quite a bit about AI tools, and Jed, who basically uses ChatGPT a couple times a week to help win arguments with his wife. Neither are designers by trade, but today I'm crowning them with the honorary title of AI designers, because we'll all be creating designs for three very different products, and you will judge if the era of human designers truly is over. So fellas, how confident are you that you can actually make something good here?
I don't know that I'd use the word confident.
I think I can recognize good design. Being able to actually make it is not necessarily my strong suit.
You have a strong suit.
Nothing but weak suits.
All right, yeah, I'm not going to judge you guys too harshly, on what you make. I'm going to send you the briefs, and we're going to get started. All right, guys, so first up we have Solos. Now, it's called Solos because they only sell pizzas by the slice, hence this cool little single-sliced box. We wanted to have a cool, vibrant, energetic, almost a little edgy type of feel to it, and really the only requirements are to include the name, the address, and the phone number on the box. So I'm going to whip out the drawing tablet for this because my immediate first thought is that since we have this super unique box that is entirely designed to hold a slice of pizza, I want to put one of those slices right on here, leaving kind of a bite out at the bottom so I have a little extra room to put the logo and all the extra information we're supposed to have on there. So to kick us off, let's gather some reference images because good artists always use reference. This guy looks like a nice healthy slice, so I'm going to save him. Then I think I'll grab this guy too in case I want to see what those other toppings look like. And it never hurts to have a little extra reference for some illustration styles as well. Now you might be wondering what this bar on the side of my screen is. Well, my friends, that is my new app, Refbox. I'm not going to do a big spiel here, but it's basically made for any type of creatives to gather and collect reference and store them neatly in this sidebar, which floats above everything on your desktop. You can keep your references big in case you want to view them all like this, or you can shrink them down really tiny so they don't get in the way. Then click on one so you can see a bigger version that you can pan and zoom around to see all those nice details. What I want to do for this illustration though is drag this little guy onto my desktop, hide the rest of these so they're out of the way, and I've got this little window that I can resize and put wherever I want so it's always in view while I work on my design. Of course, I want to make sure this pizza is as close to the shape of the box as possible, getting that nice lumpy crust like we see in our reference down here, keeping this bottom part really stringy like we've just taken a giant bite out of it, and some of that cheese is sliding off. Now let's just zoom right in here and get us a look at one of these pepperonis. Rotate that around. And I'm gonna stick this little guy somewhere over here, I think. And what's really nice is I can just hit my arrow key and swap out to the next image in my collection, so we can get a better look at some of these other toppings here. I'm liking the onions, I think. I mean, I would never get them on a pizza because I don't believe in vegetables on pizzas, but visually they do look nice. So I threw in a couple sausages and an olive, and we'll end off with a mushroom here. So that's basically got the sketch done, and now I just need to do the final line work, which I want it to look similar to this, nice clean lines with a variety of thicknesses. The main thing I'm doing is just trying to keep the lines thicker on these outer edges, and then taper them in thinner as they move inwards. Now, admittedly, my little sausages may look like boogers, but hopefully once they're brown, you'll be able to tell what they are. Speaking of color though, I realized I didn't put anything that's green on here, so let's stick a basil leaf on here, just something nice and smooth that kind of bends over on itself and lays right in here. Now, I love the yellow color on this little guy here, so I'm gonna steal it and plop that down for the cheese. Then we'll get that nice flaky golden brown crust on here, followed by the pepperonis, those crisp purple onions, the slimy mushroom, which I hate on pizza, les black olive, our sausage boogers, and a little greenery so we don't feel bad eating the 10 pounds of cheese on this thing. And then I'm sure as you all know by now comes my favorite part, which is the shading. I'm setting up the lighting at a strong angle to give us a lot of depth, bringing out those details in the large structure of the crust, as well as smaller places like the bumps in the sausage. Finishing off with extra texture like grains in the bread, shiny oil gleaming off the pepperonis, and highlights on the lumpy cheese will fill this drawing full of life. And now with all of that finally done, let's go ahead and get in a background, and we'll need a shadow casting on the box so it looks like the pizza is actually resting on top of it. Now we can get the name in here, which is Solos. Want to make that white, of course. And then we are off to find a font, and I'm going to search for blobby ones. Why, you may ask? I'm not really sure, but that just seems like a good thing to do. Now this shows some promise, so let me just grab that. And yep, I think that's got the perfect handmade, kind of messy look. Exactly what I was going for to help match the pizza. Speaking of which, I think I will make it 3D and throw in a stroke so it looks more like the illustration. Of course, we got to have a drop shadow to match. And now, do you guys see what I see? Does this not look exactly like a face? I mean, to me, that's just too good of an opportunity to pass up, because I mean, how many times do you really get the chance to use your logo as a mascot? And if he's going to be the mascot, we better make sure he's happy. That smile should give us a really nice natural barrier between the logo and this information down here. Okay, I'd say this definitely feels fun and quirky and energetic, especially with our face right here, which is something you don't see every day. But just to give it a tiny bit more of that cool, edgy vibe, I want to throw in a secondary multicolored light source. Kind of like we're inside a nightclub or a place with a lot of neon signs, just something to give it that extra party vibe. I'll throw in some ambient light around the box to match that, and since this whole thing already feels like a comic book, I think some halftones would help bring the whole thing together. I do think a few crumbs falling down from the pizza onto the logo gives us a little messiness to the scene and makes it feel all really unified. All right, guys, so how did we do on the pizzas?
Not even a joke, just terrible. The AI just cannot handle it. I attached the mock-up image, and then I pretty much just fed it the brief. And it spit out this design. Pizza, Swiss lane, hot. It got tired of me like trying to correct the address, and it was like, here are your print-ready files with exact info. You open it up. Okay. I was like, let's just start over from scratch. So I did it again. This is what I ended on.
It seems like something to be served at like a little arcade.
Yeah, I
True,
can see that.
Eating one while you're playing skee ball.
Dripping sauce down the controls.
Yeah.
The real question is, does the brand actually feel like it's from a pizza place?
You know, now that you say that, if I saw like this littered on the side of the street, I don't know that I'd see that number and be like, you know what, I could go for a pizza right now. Like I don't know that I'd immediately identify this as a pizza box.
I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking, but all right, Tom, let's see what you got now.
You know, the prompt said it was supposed to be kind of edgy, new age style. So I was thinking like some graffiti, you know, the New York vibe.
That one just says pizza.
Yeah, like some of these were kind of cool in isolation, but a little too detailed, you know, for an actual logo. And so I essentially took something like this and just refined it. For a, you know, failing pizza business, I think it could do pretty well.
Failing's an understatement.
You're 3 months from going out of business. Here's the box for you. You know, it does kind of look like you took a pizza and drove over it with a car.
That's how they get the dough nice and thin.
Thin crust. The extra crunch is from the gravel.
All right, fellas, this is what I cooked up.
Dang, that looks really good. I like the face that you made out of the O's. That's actually unique. I never would have thought of that. Yeah. The illustration for the pizza is really good too. Good lord.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if the face was like super lame or actually kind of cool. So I was just betting on it being quirky and fun.
It's a little cheesy, no pun intended.
Pun intended.
I don't like this A. That bothers me.
Mega hater.
You are so picky.
I'm gonna be honest, your little face looks like he's had one too many Tylenol. He's just got the ingredients dripping over his forehead. And he's got the 1,000-yard stare.
Oh no. All right, guys, let us know which of these is your favorite, what you liked about them, what you didn't, and we'll move on to the next one. So let's check out Framer, the sponsor of today's video. Now, Framer is by far the best website builder I have ever used, and when it was time to build a site for my new app Refbox, it was the obvious choice. And with their new design pages, you now have an infinite canvas where you can try out all of your ideas, iterate on your favorites, and when you're ready, one click will turn your final version into a fully functional website. From there, you can set up all of your responsive features so your site looks good on every device. Testing things as you go with live previews to ensure everything works perfectly. The real power of Framer though is just how fast and flexible it is. Like if I wanted this section to be vertical instead of horizontal, I can do that with a simple click. Then changing the width is super easy, and if I want a little less padding, just dragging this up like so will fix it. So just like that, I was able to put together this cool landing page with these different videos and all these examples super easily and quickly. Plus they have a bunch of built-in components you can use to add special features to your site. Like this infinite slider I used to feature testimonials from early Refbox users like my good friend Juxtaposed, who you should sub to by the way. Or this component that let me insert a custom vector animation I did in Rive to help my header section stand out. And you can't forget there is a huge community of people that make their own components that you can use in your sites too. Like this nifty countdown timer I grabbed to show how long this discount code would be good for. It's literally never been easier for designers to turn their ideas into reality without learning how to code. And the best part is you can sign up for free, so check out the link down below and use my promo code to get 25% off your plan when you're ready to launch. Thanks to Framer for sponsoring this video. Alright guys, so we have our next design, which is for a fancy schmancy brand of soap called Earth Haven. It's made from eucalyptus, which is what I want to draw the main visual style from. So let's start off finding a nice little branch of eucalyptus. I like this one right here because it's already cut out for me. So what I'm thinking is I'm just going to take one of these little guys, maybe this one right here, and then see if we can use that as the main graphic for the design. Now I stuck it over here because I really want this side to kind of be the visual part of the design, and then the left hand side over here we can put all the text and information and that good stuff. But to help fill in some of this empty space though, I'm just gonna put a little blob in here that this can be jutting out of. I do wanna grab this guy though and push him down here so the whole thing's a bit more symmetrical. Let me hide that for just a second, make this transparent, because I wanna come in here and do kind of a minimal, simple illustration over top of this. Something that feels almost slightly abstract and a little rough around the edges since this is a natural product, but of course we still want it to feel refined and elegant too. You know, there's actually quite a few leaves on here, so this is taking a little while, but I think it'll be worth it in the end, because the idea is this is supposed to be a handmade bar of soap, so having a handmade illustration made sense to me. Now that the leaves are done, I'm gonna get in the stem here, and this whole thing I just wanna make solid instead of outlined, because it's already so thin anyways. Now I don't know about you guys, but I think that turned out pretty nice. It's got this really airy, elegant feeling to it, which I really like, but the only problem is, once you turn on the wave, you can't see half the plant. But if I was to make the plant wide on the inside of the wave, along with the stem, everything is perfectly visible, and we have this really cool yin-yang look. But overall, I do think the leaves would look better if they were filled in instead of just outlined, so I'm just gonna paint all of these in real quick, leaving them white on the inside and green on the outside. Then I can just flip the outline color, and now we have nice solid leaves. What if we got a little crazy and tried a splatter texture on here, giving us a really cool rustic vibe, which also happens to match the dotted texture throughout the soap. I'm gonna stick the name of the brand up here towards the top in a really fancy font that I found. Just gonna make it a tiny bit bolder. And let's pull another yin-yang here so this H can be cut out and seen through the leaf. You know, my general philosophy for luxury packages is to keep the typography really simple and elegant. That could probably be brown for a bit of earthy contrast. Now I also have to say that this is hand and body soap, but most people kind of intuitively know you can use soap on your hands and body, so keeping it small is perfectly fine. Spacing out those letters though will make it feel more fancy. Then the all natural text can go down there much smaller because the visual identity of the brand already kind of tells you that it's not full of a bunch of junk. Then a tiny line to separate those blocks of information. Now to wrap this up, there is nothing that says luxury like a little bit of gold leaf, which I'm gonna wrap all the way around the stem. All right, Jed, let's see something I know you never use.
Okay, that's what we're doing. So this is what I started with. I asked you to make the paper a bit darker and the soap a light shade of green because I thought that went well with eucalyptus. So
the soap was already green, but okay.
I had it try to make some minor changes. It did none of them. So it made 0 changes. I was just trying to get it to move some text around and it starts misspelling things.
100% natural whole preservatives, by the way.
So eventually I'm like, you know what? We'll just take this original one that I got and denoise it because I noticed the image was a little bit noisy. So it feeds me this. Deep fries my soap. Okay. We'll just go with this one. This is what Brandon gets. I'm locking it in.
Bro, it's not even turned the right direction.
Well, that's subjective.
Small details.
You only use horizontal soap? Is that what I'm hearing?
Nah, I just don't want people to have to stand on their head to read the label, but you can't expect a whole lot here.
The process of this, I started with a logo as the wave, you know, symbolizing the soap and the water.
Yeah, I mean, it says Earth Haven and then you've got water, so.
Earth is, you know, 70-80% water, so.
And it's round. The Earth is round.
Well, people would have you believe that.
The moon is a projection.
I swear if I make another flat Earth joke, people are really going to start thinking I am one.
So I had to just try to put the logo on there. And I actually did, but of course the text here is...
Eucalyptus.
Spelling eucalyptus was extremely hard for some reason for these models. So after that, it was basically going back and forth with a few different models, just trying to work on this text slowly but surely in Paint and do slight modifications. And then at the very end, I added the little leaves.
So basically you had to use like 17 different tools here.
Well, yes.
You know what's crazy is those 7 tools are easily replaced by moderate experience with a single tool. Like,
Had I had Photoshop, or better yet, Photo P.
Photo P stand over here.
Like if you just had moderate Photoshop experience, you don't really need the AI.
I tell you, I feel like this is one of those luxury brands that you would find at like the back of the dollar store.
I don't know about that.
You know, like it kind of trying to look expensive.
Dollar store luxury, yes.
All right, boys, so this is what I came up with. What do we think?
I think that looks really good too. I always did like those designs where it has like a border where it inverts. I like your font too. What's the name of the font for the brand?
It's called Blue Mirage.
Even sounds fancy.
Anyways, the hierarchy on your bottom text is like way better than mine, at least.
Okay, good work, guys. We've got one more to do. I'm excited to see what you make. Here we go. And now we have a treat for the special pup in your life, a bouncy, squishy dog toy called Nibblers. Now I did something a little different for this brief. Instead of telling the guys exactly what to put on the package, I just gave them this paragraph of information, and I'm gonna let them decide what they think should go on there to help sell the product. Let's start by shrinking this down so we have enough room for everything that's gonna go on here. And this is supposed to be a really fun, bouncy, playful kind of vibe, but still modern and minimal. So I searched through the blobby fonts once again until I found this typeface, which I think is perfect for this. And what I think would look really cool is if that logo was wrapped right around the ball in this cool, playful arch. Now you might wonder why there's such a long box for such a small ball. Well, that's because there are 2 balls in here. Now I don't really want to have to duplicate that and show 2 versions of the product on the same package. So instead, I'm just going to shrink this down a little more and put a little banner right here front and center, letting people clearly know this is a 2-pack of chew toys. The black is a little too contrasty for me, so I'm thinking a nice dark blue would be better, which I can repeat for the bar as well. As a complement to that, let's say we throw out this ugly gray and put in a nice beige color. Now the top of this eye seems like a great place to repeat the paw pattern that we see on the ball down here. And since the brand is called Nibblers, I'm gonna throw in some motion lines to make it look like this logo is actually being nibbled on as we speak. Maybe a little lighting on this ball to help ground it into the scene, aided by a simple soft shadow. So after extracting all the information in that long product description, this is everything I've got to put on here, which is quite a bit. Really, it's all just about prioritizing things. Like we don't have to have it say all natural rubber and that it doesn't contain any of this nasty stuff, because that's kind of already implied in the all natural part. And then we can kind of separate this content into actions and properties. Like the actions would be that it floats, bounces, and can be chewed on. And the properties, well, it's made of rubber and it won't explode in the dishwasher. So I'll just stick those down at the bottom because they're more nice to nose and not really that important. Which means that these, on the other hand, we're gonna need to spread around the package to fill in all this extra empty space. But instead of just saying this ball bounces, I've got a better idea. I'm thinking we just throw us some puppers on here because we'll be able to show who the product is actually for. And instead of just saying the ball is super bouncy, we can actually show it being bouncy. I want to keep the style of the dogs really simple, just some nice smooth solid shapes with some sketchy detailed lines for a bit of playfulness and to help us add in some shadows where certain parts might need to be broken up. Oh, and of course we can't forget to make our good boy happy. Now I'll stick a little stubby guy right next to him because he fits in this spot perfectly, and I want to make sure people know that this toy is for all types of dogs. So no matter what pet you have, they can definitely enjoy it. And to show that ball is gentle on the teeth, he'll be holding the ball in his mouth, chewing away on it. Now showing that the ball floats is a little more tricky, but I think I can get the point across with a chill little dude who's playing with the ball while he's floating on his bright yellow inflatable inner tube, which obviously has to be shaped like a duck, with some little wave lines to finish it off. Oh, and I thought he'd look extra cool with a little snorkel. Then just a better font for these little guys so they match the logo. And as the very last thing, I did think it might be good to add a few bumps to these balls to match what the real one looks like. All right, Jed, kick us off with your dog toy design.
I asked ChatGPT, hey, can you turn this dog toy red? Well, that's not red at all. And then without me even prompting it, it began to just generate things over and over. So I tried to fix the packaging first. I re-included the mock-up until it finally spit this out.
Oh, Lord. We may not be able to show that on YouTube.
You're just gonna have to blur it.
Maybe.
But I mean, obviously the dog toys are not the correct dog toys. So I said, okay, refine it. Refine it, refine it, refine it, refine it, refine it, refine, 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 until finally I got to this. I felt like this looked a lot better.
Okay.
I'm sure I'm getting docked for not having accurate product imaging.
You're not getting docked, brother. You're getting a lawsuit.
It's not as fun as I was kind of hoping, but it's what I got.
And I think we're all ready to see Tom's.
So I started in mid-journey just to try to get the creative juices flowing.
Poor puppy.
If you squint your eyes to the point that they're closed, these look pretty good. So I tried a few more like fun variations.
Good heavens. Too nosy.
These were
This package was designed by a sim.
Then I just pretty much started over and I got this thing. But I didn't like the idea of having just like 2 duplicate balls on here. And so that's when I had the idea of actually making this cut out of the actual package. The design itself is honestly really boring.
That's a Costco generic brand dog toy if I've ever seen one.
At least the dog looks pretty good. But the text on here was just awful. Extremely difficult.
I like that the paws on your ball look like they're ready to burst.
Over the many generations of the prompts, this slowly just got more and more inflated. So,
there we go.
There it is.
My main thought was to try to showcase the actual actions of the balls through the dogs and stuff instead of just writing the things on the package.
I like that idea. Very good design.
Yeah, I like it.
I like all the little dogs and stuff. You should have just done like a big illustration of a bourgeois.
Oh, one of those dogs.
It really is creepy.
You can see it in a horror movie. You definitely could. All right, fellas, thank you for your help today. What have we learned?
Yeah, I'm not too hopeful for my graphic design career.
That was a given for both of us before the challenge begun. You know, AI is really good for concepts. And then all the finer details and the finer adjustments, things that really take an artist's eye and stuff like that, that's when you need a human touch.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Right. I mean, you could generate things all day. Most of them probably won't be good. But even so, if you don't know what to generate or how to tell if it's good or not, you're honestly just utterly lost. Because most people hire designers not just because they can make things, but because they actually know what to make.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, check out this one right here. Who knows, you might like it even more.